Hello, you're the first person on, so don't forget to like the stream below, please, it helps me out. Read the FAQ, Alex, or Alex, however I pronounce your name. Maybe it's just Alex. It literally says in the FAQ about Metro. Alright, cheers. Yeah, it's just because I think the more people that like the stream, it seems it sends out the notifications more for it. Because sadly YouTube did away with the system where if you subscribe to somebody you see all the videos they upload. Now you have to subscribe, tick the bell, and it unticks people from the bell as well, which is really stupid. So yeah, that's good. I've got 10 likes so far, and it says I've got something like 13 viewers, so that's a very good number. So thank you. It's a good way to start the stream. And you'll see that I've got my mug again. So every stream now I'll be using this mug, unless I've got it dirty or something and I'm washing it, and I need a really big mug. Still slightly too hot to drink, I think, so far. Yeah, it's okay, Alex. It's just I get a lot of people that ask things that are specifically in the FAQ to be annoying. I'm not saying you're doing that. It's just that when I get too many people asking the same questions over and over, I just don't answer them anymore, just because it gets irritating for me doing the streams to not actually chat about interesting stuff. Because, like I said, if you like the Metro games, that's cool, but personally I'm not a massive fan of them. I don't think they're bad or anything, it's just I've never really enjoyed them. I like the Stalker games more. But, you know, if you like them, fair enough for you. Just adjust my collar, because that looks a bit weird, how it was. Still looks a bit weird, but oh well. Yeah, I saw that. Looks really good. Yeah, so it would be interesting to see when he does the Zombot test with it at some point, how powerful the flail actually is. But yeah, it looks good. Oh, it's not really obscure. Quite a few people have mentioned that in the comments. It's, yeah, the modern version. It's like a PMK's voice diaphragm, isn't it? But on a GP5M sort of design. It has triangular lenses as well, doesn't it, if I remember right? Like triangular lenses and the PMK's voice diaphragm. That's if I'm thinking of the right mask. But yeah, it's been mentioned quite a few times by people. But sadly, I've not actually seen anybody that ships it to like the UK or Western Europe. It seems to only be like available for buying in Russia or something. Good. I didn't actually get many comments on that, weirdly enough. I think I've had like maybe 5 comments on that video so far, which is strange because a lot of people said they were quite interested in watching it. So it's just howled loads of comments in the ether as usual. That wouldn't surprise me knowing YouTube. No, I haven't seen that Slingshot Warrior. Just seeing if it shows me on here how many people have watched that video so far. Yeah, it says it's got 23 comments, but if I go on the video page it doesn't have that many comments. So, again, YouTube being YouTube. You know, it says I've got 23 comments and I've had about 5 on there, so that means I guess the rest of those comments are just not there. Well, it's hard to say because some of the parts in it are older than others, because what I generally do with a PC is I tend to buy a pre-built every now and again, then I cannibalise parts from it or whatever until it's really too old to be useful. So no, it's a FX9590, so it's like a DDR3 motherboard as well. So it should give you some idea of the age of it. Yeah. I've got the coffee in my mug, Mike, because I was doing a little chill out for the merch. So if you like the look of the weapons and stuff mugs, you can get one below. Look in the Teespring link. That French camo is pretty good, but again, like with all camos, it has to be in fairly good condition, because if you buy a version of it that's really faded, it's not going to be useful. But I think, yeah, it's a good camo. It's like DPM or USM 81 woodland. You know, it's just one of those very good woodland patterns. I've not seen a comparison anybody's done between full DPM, full M81, and like full French woodland, and you know, some of the other woodlands, because that might be interesting to see in like woodland environments which of the woodlands is the best, but there's probably not much in it, to be honest. Yeah, I really like that flail. Have you got the chain to the exact length you want it now, Mike, or are you going to make the chain a bit shorter or whatever? Or are you just going to make sure you wear like a decent glove when you use it, just in case it swings back and hits your hand? Alright, cool. I might just say use a glove, it's probably easier, isn't it? Because I think a flail with the longest chain might be practical for some things. It's just when you're doing tests of it, you want to be careful, don't you, in case it bounces back. There is a... Oh, do you mean that there's not a GP5 case for the phone you actually have in particular? Because I've done it for all the Samsung and all the iPhone ones I can choose on there. I really don't know. C3s in the UK used to be about £30 years ago, but I've just not seen any for sale recently at all. Generally woodland camos, but it depends on the actual environment and everything, because the thing is, camo's a practicality thing, isn't it? So if you're in a desert, you want desert camo. If you're in like woodland or Western Europe or something, you want woodland camo. You know, but I think in general, things like multi-terrain camos are the ones that are pretty useful now. Just because I think things like MTP and multicam work in more environments than they don't work. A C3 definitely is not worth that kind of money. As I said, they used to be like £30, $30 sort of price. I know the surplus supply of them's dried up quite a lot since then, but the mask is certainly not worth that money. There are some masks where I'd just say, unless you're one of those collectors that wants to get every single mask known to man, and you're never going to manage that anyway, I would say there are certain masks that if they're priced over a certain point, just don't bother getting them. Just because, you know, for that money you could get a couple of really good masks. So unless you really specifically wanted a certain mask, you're kind of, you know, paying over the odds for it, if you like. It's a bit like if you're buying a deactivated gun. If you bought a Thompson or some of the German World War II guns, they're, you know, like the prices of them are absurd compared to lots of the other very similar contemporary guns. You could buy, you know, like 3 or 4 deacs for the price of one German World War II gun. Now, it doesn't surprise me, because you can get newspaper hard enough that it can break bone and break glass and stuff like that, Slingshot Warrior. There's like the Millwall brick, isn't there, where you can roll up a newspaper like in such a way that it's really, really dense. I'm in quite a good mood at the moment. I've said this to Mike properly and I explained it to him. I won't go into all the details, just on a regular YouTube chat. But what's been quite good for me today is I went to the doctor because where I've got ulcerative colitis and I'm chronically ill. I'm on medication from the hospital that's on repeat prescription to control that. But the painkillers I'm advised to be on I don't always get. So I went in and saw a doctor and explained my situation. They've actually been really helpful today and put a load of the medication I need on repeat prescription, which is really good for me because it just means I don't have to worry all the time if I'm going to run out of medicine or not. So it means that when I'm in pain now, I don't actually have to think, oh no, they might not give me more painkillers, or I have to just keep buying, you know, like the over-the-counter painkillers. So, yeah, I won't go into all that on the stream, but it's, you know, one of those things that's good for me. At least, as it means that, you know, if I'm in pain from my ulcerative colitis now, I don't ever have to worry, or I might be taking too many of my pain, you know, as long as I'm still taking a safe dose of them, obviously. But you know what I mean, it's just one of those things where it means I don't have to worry, oh, if I take a painkiller now, I'm not going to have, you know, some left at the end of the week, and then the doctor might get funny about giving me more or whatever. It was just one of those things. One of the things I've mentioned about before on here, and I don't mind talking too much about this one because it's a completely over-the-counter type thing, is with paracetamol, which is one of the... You get this in America and you get it everywhere, paracetamol. For whatever reason, they passed a law in the UK at some point which said you could only ever buy 16 or 32 in a packet at one time per customer. And because they said, like, you could overdose on them and kill yourself or something, even though you can still overdose on 32 paracetamol. So they did this really stupid thing, where basically if you have some sort of chronic illness, or you're just somebody who gets like headaches a lot or something like that, you can't ever get paracetamol in big numbers, so you end up paying out the arse for it. So like, for example, you could go to some shops where they'll sell a 12 pack or 16 pack or whatever it is of paracetamol for like 20p or something for a sheet, you know, or like for a couple of sheets, but you can't buy a load of those packets at once because you're forbidden to do it by law, which is a really annoying thing. So one of the things I said to the doctor is, because I'm chronically ill, can you just give me a prescription so a pharmacy can literally, you know, give me the multi-pack boxes, because otherwise every 2 days I need to buy another box of paracetamol. It just completely depends on your doctor, Dan. Ibuprofen will kill me if I take it. I can't take ibuprofen. I can't take aspirin either. Yeah, because you can have up to 8 a day, can't you, Mike? And that's the thing. So if you've got a pack of 16, that's going to last you 2 days. And if you're in some situations, like I know of some people, they buy medicine for the entire household. If you get a 16 or 32 pack of paracetamol and you've got several people in your house and everybody's got a cold or they're feeling ill, that medicine is going to be gone within a day. I think the M10 comes in various sizes. I've never actually checked to see mine, but I'm sure it must come in different sizes because the M17 and everything is. But yeah, exactly. I got it when I was around 20, and it just suddenly developed. But with autoimmune diseases, you can literally get cut down by them at any point. It's a bit like cancer. You know, as you get older, you're probably more likely to get them, but you can just suddenly, your body can just suddenly decide it's going to develop a thing where it attacks itself. Yeah, exactly. I'm a bit like that, Mike. I try and take the least amount of medication I can with things like painkillers for like the obvious reasons. But the thing is, though, for me, is like when you have a chronic illness, it is really annoying if the doctors don't want to actually prescribe you medicine that, you know, like your specialist doctors have told you to take. Yeah, they can. Literally every mask I know of comes in different sizes, mate. So there's no point saying, does this mask come in different sizes or that one, because I can't think of any masks off the top of my head that are like a universal fits all size, except for the 4A1. Yeah, luckily, as we said before, mechanised and weaponised, I'm reacting better to like the control meds, but as I had a flare-up last Sunday, you know, it's one of those things where, as much as I'm at no risk of having to have like a stoma bag, whatever they call them, at the moment at least, thankfully, I still sometimes get a lot of the pain associated with it, even if the actual bleeding and everything's under control. So it's just, you know, one of those things. For me, it's actually a lot less mental stress as well when I know that I can literally keep you know, my doctor will actually give me the meds I need rather than... No, it's nothing to do with AIDS, Slingshot Warrior. No, it's good you didn't set your workshop on fire. How did you manage that, Rich? But yeah, AIDS is like the exact opposite of ulcerative colitis, because AIDS is where your immune system basically does nothing, isn't it? So you can be killed by something like a cold. Ulcerative colitis is one of the autoimmune diseases where your immune system basically goes into overdrive and starts attacking your own body. Because for whatever reason, with UC and Crohn's, it's like your immune system suddenly thinks that your colon and intestines don't belong in your body anymore. So your antibodies start attacking your own body, you know, potentially killing you or destroying your inner stuff. And it's one of those things that, you know, they still don't know why some people get it or whatever, but if you're unlucky enough to get it, you're just on meds for the rest of your life if you respond to the medication. I'd rather this stream didn't become too depressing, constantly talking about chronic illnesses. So if somebody wants to lighten it up with a more interesting question, that would be good. I'm still waiting for Richard to tell us how he almost started a fire. Yep, thank you. If you want to get one of these mugs, you can do. Down below there's a link to my Teespring account and the mugs are on there. And the rear side of the mug, if you haven't seen it, just has the brand name on it. Cheers anyway. I know what the one you mean, TechStorm. That was actually, wasn't it around the end of World War II or the 50s they designed that? But I think it was a similar thing to the British C7 mask, where they basically decided after a while they weren't going to produce them just because in the event of nuclear war there was probably no point. That's cool, Mike. I'll have a check because I can open Twitter in a new tab pretty easily while I'm doing this. Yeah, right, Mike. I'll chat with you a bit about that later if you want. But yeah. I have no idea, mate, because the store near me's closed, and that was one that I'd actually went into, and I'd have no idea what they charge for like shipping and things to other countries, or what they could legally and couldn't ship there. I just advise you to go on eBay and look for stuff that would ship to your country. That would be the easiest thing, because if you set it as you're in Morocco, and then see what would ship there and what prices it estimates places would do. But I know like the meal syrup store that's near me that closed down wouldn't have done that. So what was it, like plastic that got too hot inside your shed or whatever, or Richard, or was it where But I'm trying to think now, Mike. I'm sure I must have watched some films the other day. I mean, like I said, I've been watching loads of documentaries recently, but I'm sure I watched some other films. What did I watch? I said about Rollerball, didn't I, the other day, but I swear I've watched some other stuff as well as Rollerball. Let me look on Shudder and see if it's got my watch. I'll tell you what, I did watch a film called Cheap Thrills that has one of the blokes from Anchorman in it, where they're like a rich couple that pay like these people to do more and more fucked up things. It's like a thriller kind of thing, dark comedy thriller. That was alright actually. I also watched The Green Inferno, I think this week or like a week ago. No, what's different about it than the other ones? I'll Google it. No, Chernobyl programme's not till May. I thought it was this month, and loads of people had said it was this month. It's actually May. I think it's like May the 5th or something. Oh, okay, so I guess that just got too hot, did it, Richard, and then it set on fire that way. My favourite crossbow, saying that though, is probably my Jandao Chasewind or my Horizon pistol crossbow. Oh, it's the same crossbow as the R9, but just rebranded, is it? But it's got a repeating crossbow mechanism on it. That's quite cool. I mean, it looks very, very tactical to me. It looks really impractical. I don't want to sound like I'm shitting on it too much, because it might be a really good crossbow, but the design of that looks like so bulky and strange. I really can't tell you much about that mask, but I know it's one that people shill a lot. So it might be a perfectly good mask, but I know a lot of the places selling it were like places that, you know, said other masks were totally useless and that was one of the only good masks on the market. So I'd be very careful if you're believing claims like that. But if it's way more expensive than the other masks, it's not going to be any better than the other masks. If that makes sense. Because if it was a really good mask, lots of nations would have bought it to use it for like military stuff or whatever, or police stuff, and they don't, so that might tell you something about it. But I don't have one, so I can't really comment on it. If it can't shoot standard crossbow bolts or pistol crossbow bolts, then that, yeah, it's not very good, is it, Richard? Or at least not very practical. But yeah, what I use a lot now, that I like, well, not a lot, but I filmed a video on it the other day, although it's going to be a very short video, is I've got one of my Horizon Redbacks. I've put one of the weaker Armex prods on it. The ones from, you know, the old £80 crossbows like the Tomcat, which were probably about 40 odd pounds, I think, when Mike measured the weight of the draw pull on them. But I've got that on it, so it's the prod, but on a much safer, better crossbow. So it's very quick to load and shoot, because obviously it's the lower draw weight prod. And it's on the much higher quality crossbow, like the better safeties and everything, but it's just lower draw weight, which I quite like. Because most of the time, if you're shooting at like 10 to 20 yards in a garden with a pistol crossbow, you don't need all that much power on it, because it's still going to go into targets easily enough with that kind of prod on it. They might do. I think that'd probably be true on most countries in the world, wouldn't it, though? If you move from one culture to a different culture, it's going to be a bit different. And it would depend where you are in America, wouldn't it? Because America is very different in some states from other states. I don't know if I'll do a 2-hour stream tonight. I'll try and go to 90 minutes, but that will also depend on getting enough questions and like interesting topics coming in, because at the moment the chat seems a bit slow. It says there's 22 people watching, but I'm not getting all that many different commenters. One of the things I can do, if I remember how to do it, is I can press that and see participants. Yeah, currently there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people out of the 22 actually making comments. No, you can't post links. Only mods can post links, because YouTube will just automatically delete your thing. So it's not even like Alexander, you could post a link and then I could approve or deny it. What will happen is if you post a link, it just doesn't appear to anybody. YouTube probably puts you on some kind of list for trying to share links, like a spam kind of thing, I imagine. Well, I don't know unless I move there. I mean, I know what the gun culture's like in America, so that wouldn't shock me at all. So I don't really know. Yeah, I don't mind if people don't have stuff to chat about. It's just strange when you see lots of people watching, but you're not getting many commenters. I know some people just like to listen to streams while they do other things. I'll say what I say to everybody, Ajax. What you need to do is, on one of my videos, make a comment with a link to where there's an image of the gas mask. So let's say you put an image on Imager, or a few images on Imager, something like that. Post a link and make sure you write something along with a link. Just don't post a link, because if you just post a link, I think it's more likely YouTube holds it as spam, or I won't know what the link is and I might block the person, because, you know, when I just get random links with no comments from a person I don't really recognise, I immediately block them, because it could be like malware or phishing stuff. So yeah, what you need to do is just make a comment on one of my recent videos with explaining that it's a link to a gas mask you want ID'd. Make sure it's some like a WoW recognised image hosting site like Imager or something like that. Post it, and then I can take a look and like approve the link and take a look. But yeah, make sure you actually host it on a safe image hosting site and you write a comment alongside it. Yeah, that's cool. It's just, you know, when I get random links with no comments made, especially when I don't recognise a person as a regular commenter, I just immediately block them, because I assume they're trying to get people to click on a dodgy link. And sometimes I know people have tried to post a comment and I just never see it, because YouTube holds it indefinitely in some sort of spam filter type thing. Yeah, there's lots of sketchy filters on eBay, doesn't surprise me. What, like Cajun stuff, do you mean, Slingshot Warrior? Or do you mean other stuff? Well, the thing I do like in Bits of America, Richard, is that lots of things like self-defense and free speech aren't weird taboo subjects like they've become in the UK, sadly. But it depends whereabouts in America, because there is a lot of America that's very similar to Britain in terms of being like pro-censorship and all that. Alright, it says there's 24 people watching now and I've got 21 likes, so if you're watching the stream and you do like my stuff, make sure you click the like below. I'm pretty sure I've tried cornbread fried chicken before. I'm pretty sure certain places in the UK do that. Not claiming that they made it or anything like that, but you know, I think it's one of those foods that does come over here. Battered dip fish is very popular here, Slingshot Warrior. It's called fish and chips. At some point there will be like S10 FM12 style merch, Alfie. It depends how long it takes Bart to draw a lot of it out. But the thing is, at the moment I've told him to slow down a bit doing merch, just because he drew all that GP5 stuff recently, and then nobody's actually bought any of it yet last time I checked. So I said to him, you know, like, Will, don't get me too many merch designs at once, because if loads of people are being a bit picky about what they want to buy, you know, it might mean some of this stuff gets drawn and then nobody ever buys it. Hopefully. Mike will see. I did do a community announcement actually tonight saying that I'd be streaming at 6 PM UK time, just in case it got any more people on. £27 doesn't seem too bad for an OZK NBC suit. Is that the Soviet one, the green one, which looks a bit like a trench coat? If that is £27, very good for that, because I don't even have one of them. But yeah, I'm good, Alfie. I was explaining to some of the people earlier in the stream that I went to the doctors again about my ulcerative colitis, which is one of the chronic illnesses I have, and I actually had a doctor that was really helpful today and sorted me out a load of repeat prescriptions for painkillers I need. Alright, Samuel. Yeah, we definitely have pecan pie over here as well. You can't paint masks very easily. I mean, in theory you can, but lots of paints won't stick to the rubber very well. If you wanted to make a coloured mask, in theory it has to be like moulded to that colour essentially when, you know, the rubber's formed. I don't know, because I've got a lot of World War II and interwar British masks as well, or like, you know, pre-1939 British masks, and because a lot of those, you know, the date stamps are long since unreadable, I really couldn't tell you. No, I've never got into CB radio or anything like that. The closest thing I've gotten into in terms of obscure radio stuff is like somewhere, it should be in this room, I'm just looking for it now, but I won't turn it on because I don't want a copyright strike. I have a shortwave radio. you know, where you can pick up stations from all around the world, including number stations on the shortwave. So that's really good. It's not just a shortwave. It's like a really compact little radio that can do AM, you know, AM, FM, shortwave, longwave, that kind of thing. So it's just one of those really good little pocket radios that you can either run off an electric cable or a single battery. That's, you know, like a little survival one, because you could take it outside somewhere. It would go in like a tiny pocket, and then you can use it to scan for loads of frequencies. Oh, that's cool, Alfie. Yeah, anything people do buy from the merch stuff I really appreciate, because although I've not got the profit margins very high, so you know the prices are more acceptable to people buying, it does give me quite a good bit of money from each thing. You know, like I probably make £2 on a mug, sort of £4 on a shirt, something like that. And I have a feeling some of the things have better like profit to thingy bob things, but until people buy them I won't really find that out. But you know what, I'm sure you know what I mean by that. But that's the thing, is because other than the Discord server, people who support me on Patreon don't really get anything other than that. I think merch for a lot of people would be a better thing if they wanted to support me and get something out of it, because you know they at least get a physical item. Probably just because they're less helmets produced, I'd assume, than gas masks. I really don't know, to be honest. It might just be because they're a bit bulkier and made of metal for the most part. Yeah, somebody else mentioned the CT12 earlier, and it's got a PMK style voice diaphragm, hasn't it, rather than the old GP5M, MM1, SHMS style one. Can you get something, Samuel, like in the UK we have Argos, which is a big store which sells loads of stuff, and they still do catalogues. Do you have any like places that do catalogues that would be really thick that you could shoot? Again, that's probably something due to the internet that's not really a thing anymore. I'm just wondering if there's any way you can get like free merchandise catalogues and then shoot them. What are you on about, Textom? Are you on about flapper valves? They just work that when you exhale, it forces the slit open, and then when you're not exhaling, they close under their own sort of weight, or how the rubber's designed. It's basically just a form of valve, it's just they're not as good as modern sort of umbrella valves. Yeah, that's the exact same thing we were saying earlier, Ajax, that it looks like a good mask, but sadly nowhere seems to ship it to the UK. Because otherwise I'd have got one and done a video on it, because it looks better than the TF1 mask. I've got that Chinese TF1, but sadly, because nowhere seems to ship it, and generally when there are Russian masks, the modern Russian masks that are shipped from Russia, they seem to want £30 to £50 postage on them, which I'd never pay. I've eaten reindeer before, Slingshot Warrior. Reindeer's pretty tasty. Yeah, I don't know, unless you tape loads of phone books together, I don't know what you do, but you kind of want one big book, don't you, to test penetration, so you can measure the amount of pages it's gone through. No, as in the Israeli 4A1s, they're not very rare. I mean, sometimes it's like a supply issue thing. Sometimes there can be loads of stuff on eBay of a particular kind of mask. And then, oh, you mean British Mark IVs? Mark IVs aren't super rare. Mark IVs and Mark Vs, it depends. It's one of those things where I think there's a lot about in the UK, but it depends whether or not they're being sold at the time you're looking for them, or if somebody knows what they're selling, you know, and or doesn't know what they're selling, and then the price can vary accordingly, because some people know what the mask is, know what it's realistically worth, stick it up on a price, somebody will buy it, and that's good. Some people know it's a World War II mask, and then they think they can get loads of money for it, so they stick it up for a price nobody's actually going to pay for it. And, you know, vice versa, sometimes people don't know what the mask is, they just stick it up cheaply, because they want to make a sale or whatever. Because that's how I've got some of the masks I've got that should have been really expensive quite cheap, because I've just seen people list them just saying like gas mask unknown model, and it's actually been a fairly rare mask and I've ordered them. I think that happened with both the C7 masks I bought. People didn't know what they were. I think the second C7 I bought, the person did know it was a C7, and I think the first time they'd listed it for about £100 and nobody had bought it. Then they listed it for like £70 or whatever, nobody bought it, and then I think I ended up getting it for like £20 to £30 because every time they relisted it with a lower price, and at that price I was actually going to pay for another one. But as I already had one, I wasn't that willing to pay all that much for one. Yeah, there's no bears over here, so you can't hunt them, regardless of what the law would be on shooting them or not. You can't hunt something that doesn't exist in your country. Yeah, don't blame you. You should just start doing timeouts for anybody that does it, Mike. No fun allowed. Or is that a joke? But yeah, Alfie, the price of masks can really vary. Some people think they can get a lot of money for something that's pretty worthless, and then sometimes you get the other thing where somebody just puts a cheap price up for a fairly valuable mask because they just want to sell it quickly. Obviously, I prefer the second one. People, you know, putting a mask on fairly cheaply, and then you can buy it for not too much, and it's, you know, good. As in the... Is it the Greek mask that's called the Cobra, or are you on about one of the crossbows that we were talking about earlier? Because I think there's a Greek mask, isn't there? When you say yes, and I've said, do you mean this or do you mean this, that doesn't answer my question, does it? But, is that the sort of M65, M15 style mask? The Greek Cobra, if that is what you mean. Yeah, go up one size and you should be fine, Textorm, I imagine. The Greek, yeah, so the Greek gas mask. I know the one you mean, I don't have one in my collection, but I do know what it looks like, so I thought it looked quite cool. I think I may have seen them on eBay now and again, and I've just never paid however much they were for them. So I think I might have seen one on there for like 50 or 60 quid once, 50, 60 pounds. And I thought, I've already got an M15, I've already got an M65, I've got like that M62 mask, whatever it was called, the one before the M65 that's very similar. I've got a Czech CM4, I've got the Bulgarian PG1 or whatever it's called, which is also like the same design mask, so I thought, I can't really be bothered to get another M65 clone. I had Thai coconut curry for dinner tonight, and that was very nice. With sticky rice, and then I had a load of peanuts later on, just as, you know, a light kind of snack, which is fairly nutritious. But what we do now in our house, because it's a good way of getting stuff cheap, is in Lidl, not Lidl, Aldi, they're very similar things, but Aldi, you can get chicken curry in a can, which actually has a decent amount of chicken breast in it. See you, Alfie. You can either get that in spicy or mild, and the mild one's like a korma sauce, the spicy one's a lot spicier, but because of my ulcerative colitis I tend to try and avoid spicy food, so I normally get the one that's like a korma. I can't remember how much they are a tin, but they're quite cheap. Let me Google it and see. They're 85p a can. So basically, you get one of these cans that's 85p, and you combine it with either rice you boil yourself or a ready-to-microwave packet of rice, and you can get like a much bigger meal than you'd get out of a normal ready meal. You know, and all the things have really long dates on them as well, so it's like a food that you could store for years. And also, you know, it's good that way. Alright, you're at work now, are you, Callum? What's interesting is, I've noticed that because you're a mod, it makes you be a mod on both your accounts. I assume it's because they're linked through one Google account and knows how to do that. That's quite interesting, because I noticed you have the spanner no matter which account you post from. Yeah, that's what I was saying, that's the problem with buying a lot of masks from Russia for me. the masks sometimes are sensibly priced, but then with the postage on top of it, it's a rip-off. You know, where there is no way in hell a gas mask that weighs like less than a kilo, probably less than 500 grams, especially if it's just the mask without the satchel and everything, should cost £30 to £50 to have it shipped from Russia. That's absurd, because I can buy stuff from like Lithuania, Estonia, Poland, you know, and all those sort of countries with stuff for like £5 or less postage for the exact same parcels. No, I've got no interest in selling masks, because I'd have to get a load of space from them, then I'd have to find somewhere I could source them from cheaply, then I'd have to sell them for a profit. I'll just do the merch, because the merch is easy and it's a bit more interesting, it's different. We definitely have barbecue chicken here, Slingshot Warrior. Right, see ya. Yeah, I got an email from Blades and Bows saying my parcel's been dispatched now with all the little knives in it. But I don't know when that will be delivered yet, because I've not got the Royal Mail tracking number yet, so I have to wait till I get that. Hopefully it'll be on the day when I'm actually at home. I don't have a PMG1 in my room, whoever was asking me to put a PMG1 on. There's a PMG2 GP5M behind me, but I've been wearing that in a load of other streams, so I'm not going to put it on now. I think it looks good as decoration in the background. Yeah, I know it's a seller trying to scam you, but I'm just saying it's really annoying where there's loads of Russian sellers seem to do that on eBay. I've bought stuff from Russia before though, where it's just been reasonably priced. So obviously they don't all do it. It's just annoying that it seems to be a common thing with people selling like modern Russian militaria. If you think you get bad fisheye in the M40, a British S6 mask is really bad for fisheye just because of the way the lens is curved. It's what I don't like about early generation panoramic masks as well, because a lot of them have the super curved kind of glass or plastic that really distorts the vision. It's why I kind of just like the eyepieces on masks that are flat and face totally forward, because that way you get a good field of view. You can use it with a scope or whatever and it doesn't blur your vision. Alright, cool. Was that like one somebody specifically made Techstorm to look like a sunrise suit? Or is it like a piece of militaria that looks like a sunrise suit? Yeah, thanks Richard. I've been saying to people to like the stream a few times during it, but if there's a current lot of people on that weren't on earlier, then they can add likes to the stream. I've got 28 live viewers at the moment and 31 likes, plus some dislikes. That's good. I've had more interactions than current viewers on, which I always like, because what I don't like is when you get like 10 likes and you've got 30 people currently watching. But yeah, you have to do that, don't you, where you turn the rifle sideways and also tilt your head to a weird angle to actually get the sights to align up and still be able to get on your shoulder and everything. And then I imagine if you've got like a big plate carrier on or something, it makes it even worse. Yeah, like where they've put 2 zeros extra on or something. Alexander, I imagine. Well, in most countries you can get food from other countries, like Italian food's very popular here, Indian food's really very popular here, Chinese food's very popular here. You know, I think in most countries you get loads of different cuisine from, you know, all around the world. Well, I don't call it oatmeal, I call it porridge, because that's what we call it over here. But there's probably people who can make better porridge than me. But I thought I'd share my video. Yeah, it was just the one today, Mike, on the porridge. I'm going to go back and see how many people have watched that so far and what the like ratio's like and that, because it's one of those annoying ones where YouTube says I've had a certain amount of comments on it, but I can only actually see a certain amount of comments if I go on it. So I have 214 views, 25 comments, and 44 likes. I've noticed though on a lot of my videos set to premiere, I've had people dislike them en masse so far. As in, you know, they're not even out yet, and they've got something like a 70% like ratio. Or I guess just the people who want to dislike videos have gone on there and disliked them, but most of the people that, whatever, or maybe some people upset they have to wait for a video, but they'd have to wait for a video anyway, they just wouldn't know what it is normally. Alright, see you, Samuel. Yeah, I don't know why they let you do it, but it's YouTube. But you know, you still get the thing where people subscribe to dislike your videos, which I've never understood. Like, fair enough, if you don't like my videos, I'd say don't watch them, and it doesn't bother me if people dislike them, because it still counts as an interaction, so YouTube still shares the video more. If you get, you know, a dislike than not having a dislike. Likes and dislikes, as far as I'm aware, don't alter the amount the videos are sent out. But having more likes and dislikes is better than having less likes and dislikes. But it just seems very odd to me that somebody would subscribe to a channel they don't like just to dislike every video and then click off of it again. Seems like a proper waste of time to me. I could think of much better things to do with my time than watch videos I dislike just to leave a dislike. Well, I can understand why people dislike videos. You know, that doesn't surprise me at all, because sometimes you might just genuinely dislike a video. I don't tend to dislike many videos. If I click on a channel that I haven't seen before, I watch one of their videos and it's not like my kind of thing, but the video's well made, or, you know, made as well as that sort of person could make a video, then I probably don't either like it or dislike it. I just, you know, don't watch any more of their stuff if it's not my thing. The only time I dislike videos is generally when it's a video that's being presented as actual information that people might take seriously, but then the person has no idea what they're talking about, or they have a very specific agenda that they're trying to push, you know, and they're presenting it as like a neutral point of view, but they clearly have, you know, a point of view that they are trying to push, but they're pretending they don't. That's when I tend to dislike videos, just because I think that person's gone out of the way to make like a misleading video or whatever. The problem I have with YouTube though is I'm subscribed to people like Weapon Collector. I watch every one of his videos, I click the bell constantly on his channel, but often YouTube does not notify me when he makes a new video. But then of course what happens is, for example, I'll watch one video, I won't like it or dislike it, you know, I'll watch a little bit of the video, decide it's not for me, I'll click off, and then YouTube spams my recommendation for weeks to come with that channel's videos, even though I clearly watched 10 seconds of their video and didn't like it or whatever. And then even if I click the not interested thing, I seem to have to click not interested 10 times before YouTube decides that they're not going to keep recommending that channel to me. Oh, if the video contains something really bad, I'd actually report it if it was something like properly illegal. But yeah, like I said, I generally just dislike videos when the only time I really tend to dislike videos is when it's somebody, you know, like I said, trying to be on purposely misleading in a video generally, but presenting it not as that. Well, I don't even though I'm subscribed to Slingshot Warrior, I don't think YouTube ever puts your videos on my front page, and that's the problem. It's like, because right now I might think, oh yeah, Slingshot Warrior is saying he's got a new video out, I'll check that out. But if let's say I forget, like when the stream ends, to look at your videos, despite the fact I'm subscribed to you, I'm not going to get notifications about them. But YouTube will spam my front page up with channels I have no interest in. Right, I'm going to go on my front page of YouTube now, and I'll see how many videos come up that are not videos related to my stuff. Okay, so from your subscriptions, that's fine, the one at the top, because that is channels I'm subscribed to. Although some of the things coming up, I swear I'm not subscribed to those channels, but never mind. Right, let's look at recommended. Right, the first one's a documentary, a history documentary, that's fine. Second one's a Paul Harrell video, I like Paul Harrell. Third one is a Forgotten Weapons video, that's fine. The next one's a serial killer interview, so that's kind of related to what I watch. Next one's okay. Right, the next video after that is a maths video. I don't think I've ever watched a maths video on YouTube. I have no interest in maths. My dad used to be a maths teacher, so that should tell you why I don't have any interest in maths. But anyway, YouTube thinks I want to watch a maths video. The next video is about Coca-Cola. I don't drink Coca-Cola, I never watch videos on Coca-Cola, but YouTube's recommending it. Next one's a thing on a Spitfire. Again, that's not too out of whack with my recommendations, because I do sometimes watch military plane videos on YouTube. Okay, there's another channel that's being recommended to me that seems to be like very politically divisive, despite the fact I don't watch many political videos on YouTube. So there's, yeah, like I said, I sometimes click I'm not interested like 10 times, and every time I refresh the page, it will keep giving me more of those videos, because if YouTube wants to push certain videos on you, they're going to do it anyway. Okay. What's next on there? Recently uploaded recommend videos for you. One that's about planes, so again, aviation is sort of thing. A politics video again about US politics that I wouldn't watch. A thing about Canadian politics I wouldn't watch. Something about somebody that was knighted talking on a foreign radio station. Again, I wouldn't watch that. An Ashton's video, I might watch that. Some channel I've never heard of and it looks like e-drama bullshit. Again, I'd never watch that. Minecraft topic, despite the fact I have no videos on Minecraft and I never watch Minecraft videos. And despite the fact it says Minecraft topic, one of the videos is on Doom. So that's not even Minecraft, is it? So well done, YouTube algorithm. Another video being recommended to me about maths, because, you know, as I've already said, I have no interest in maths, but again, YouTube for whatever reason is deciding that I want to watch maths videos, despite the fact I don't watch maths videos on YouTube at all. The rest of these recommended ones are like just other videos from channels I have watched a few of their videos, so that's fine. Next lot are all ones. Next one again is some e-drama bullshit from a channel I'm not subscribed to, but apparently that video is recommended for me, even though I don't watch any e-drama stuff on YouTube. Documentaries about old cars and Africa. Something I probably very vaguely watch documentaries on now and again, but I don't think I've watched anything about that recently. Some, again, really stupid political videos I have no interest in. A guy where I watched one of his videos and it was pretty good, and then they've been non-stop recommending me more videos from this guy that have nothing to do with the content on the other thing I've watched. More history documentaries, that's fine. More political videos I have no interest in. More political videos I have no interest in. Right, I'm going to stop looking through it now, but you get my point. This is why I don't see the content from the channels I'm subscribed to, because YouTube keeps constantly filling it up with stuff I have no interest in. That's GCHQ trying to get you, Richard. They're going to get you eventually, because one day you'll click on it by mistake and then they'll be kicking your door in. Yep. As I say, like every stream I'm asked Oscar, yeah, I've shot a shotgun before and a 22 long rifle, but not recently, and there's no videos of it on this channel. If I did it again, I'd do a video on it. But in theory, Alexander, they can't work because of how the density of them is. They're too small. But if you have something that only smells very faintly, yes, it will block that smell. No, I don't have the Chinese M65 with the cheek filter. Whenever I've looked into getting one, the postage has been quite expensive. That's the only reason I've not done it. Right, what I'm going to do is, while I'm waiting for more questions, I'm going to now F5 my YouTube thing after clicking not interested on a load of them, and see what comes up. Right. Oh, more mathematics videos? Not interested. The Coca-Cola video again? Not interested. A documentary on cheese making. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. More e-drama bullshit, which I'm not interested in. More politics channels, which I'm not interested in. A neo-Nazis channel, which I'm certainly not interested in, but YouTube seems to keep shoving down my throat, despite the fact I'm not subscribed to it and have never watched any of his videos, or I think I watched one, realised I didn't really like his politics and haven't watched any more, but YouTube, you know, thinks, oh, let's push that. A channel I'm not subscribed to being recommended to me. All the current ones coming up are from channels I'm subbed to, where I've watched quite a lot of their videos. Channel I don't think I've ever watched their videos from. More e-drama bullshit. Channels that aren't even in English that I'm not subscribed to, so I have no idea what the video is about from the title, because I can't read the language. Videos about modern, like, esports stuff, I'm definitely not interested in that. I'll go back to the chat and see if there's anything else on here now. Probably Iron Brew, I'd imagine. I mean, Coca-Cola's popular here and so is Pepsi, but Iron Brew is like the one everybody drinks in Scotland. No, I've never fired a Gepard Lynx, or Gepard Lynx, however it's called. As I said, it's just a 22 long rifle I shot, a very generic bolt action one, no idea on the brand. Depending on where you are, Oscar, that may or may not be legal, so I'm going to remove your comment. Don't worry, you're not in trouble from me, I'm not blocking you or anything, but I'm going to remove that comment just because I don't want you to incriminate yourself if it is illegal what you've just said in whatever country you're in. Oh, I was already asked... Oh, what Viper Tactical is in, like Viper boots and Viper equipment. If you're on about that Viper, I had some Viper boots ones that were awful. Like they fell apart within like 2 weeks of having them. They were quite expensive boots, so they were shit. I think I've had some other Viper gear that's been good though, so it probably depends on who they outsource to make their gear and then stick their logo on. Right, see you, Richard. Thanks for coming on for a bit anyway. Right, more esports bullshit coming up. Now I've F5'd. Videos about Game of Thrones, which I fucking hate. Okay. A retrospective thing on some 80s metal band? Yeah, I'm not going to watch that. Tell you what, I'll just shout out things that are really weird that I wouldn't be subscribed to. Another channel being recommended of some sort of E-drama bullshit that I've never watched. Another channel I'm not subscribed to that I keep getting recommended over and over again. That same channel's being recommended again further down because apparently YouTube thought I didn't see it the first time they recommended it. Another channel, I have no idea what their videos are about. It's just like some meme in the picture. So yeah. Domino's is popular here, so is Pizza Hut. Most pizza things that do takeaway pizza are pretty popular. Yeah, we've been talking about the HBO Chernobyl thing quite a lot on these streams, but it's not out yet. The actual series doesn't start till next month, so we can't really say much about it, can we, until it comes out? What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to press F5 like 3 times, and I want to see if now I've done a load of not recommended, if it's actually learnt anything from what I've done, or if it's just going to be just as bad. Right, okay. Oh, a channel that makes nothing but clickbait, so let's click not interested in that, because, you know, I definitely want to watch clickbait, don't I? Even though all my recent viewing history on YouTube, other than channels like Weapon Collectors stuff, is generally, you know, factual documentaries that are between an hour and 2 hours long. I'm sure I want to watch clickbait if that's the kind of stuff I watch. More clickbait. Let's not click not interested. American news channels. I'm not interested in those. Another maths documentary. Thank you, YouTube, for constantly recommending me maths. Oh, and another maths documentary. Michael Jackson. I don't actually mind Michael Jackson's music. Michael Jackson recommended videos for you. Investigating Michael Jackson is the first one. The next video is a Queen tribute band, so what that has to do with Michael Jackson I don't know, even though I quite like Queen as well, but, you know, thank you YouTube recommended. More stuff about, is Michael Jackson a paedophile? I mean, I don't really care about that, the man's dead, to be honest. Yeah, I've heard about deleting the history, but I'm sure whenever I've tried that, Mike, it's never actually worked. You know, it like might work for a couple of days, and then the suggestions are just shit again. Right, let's F5 and go from the top again. I don't know, I'm quite enjoying this, just seeing how bad the recommendations are for content I'd never watch. Right, see Alex, or Alix, however I pronounce your name. Yeah, it's that kind of thing, Alexander, the sort of some of the clickbait stuff coming up. It's like, I don't ever watch those videos, but YouTube just seems to be like, oh, loads and loads of other people have clicked on this clickbait, so surely you want to watch it. Right, let's go down from the top. So, as I said, I'll just call out the ones that aren't relevant, because some of the videos are, like, very relevant. Some are, like, slightly relevant, so they don't bother me, but it's just the ones that have nothing to do with my watch history that surprise me. A channel I'm not subscribed to, again, making politics videos, so why am I going to be watching those? Celebrities talking about politics, that's certainly something I'm not interested in. I don't like regular people's opinions on politics, so I don't know why I'd actually care what a celebrity who's really detached from reality thinks about politics. Astronomy. I don't find astronomy boring or anything, but I never watch astronomy boring. I never watch astronomy videos normally, other than things to do with like ICBMs and that kind of stuff, so why they're recommending me videos on satellites and space missions, I don't know. That's Again, it's not a bad topic, but I'll click not interested just because I've never watched anything on that sort of topic. Stupid political meme videos, yeah, I'm not interested in that. Some bands I've never heard of being recommended to me, which looks like generic pop music. Videos in foreign titles, which I can't read because I don't speak the language. Again, I don't have any problem with the cultures that make videos like this, but why would YouTube recommend me a video I'm not going to be able to understand? I'm into prog rock, like 80s metal kind of stuff. Any music that sounds good, really. So my tastes in music vary a lot, but generally not pop music. I like commenting on videos as well a lot of the time, especially if they're documentaries, so I do it from my main YouTube account. I think that'd be a good idea for somebody who just wants to get relevant recommendations, but I bet you watch 5 videos on that account and you'll still keep getting recommended stuff you're not interested in. Let's see how bad it would be if I open an incognito tab, then go on YouTube. Let's see what their recommendations look like, you know, based on no watch history, supposedly. Like, you know, ultimate clickbait. Videos on Kim Kardashian. Videos on celebrities. Videos on football. Videos on Marvel. The Coke videos again. Videos on Gordon Ramsay. Video on boxing, a video of a clickbait title about a house, more Gordon Ramsay, WikiHow articles that are like translated somehow into like things that are meant to teach you stuff, so very lazily made videos. Children's nursery rhymes, music videos, WWE, Fortnite. Oh no, this is even worse. At least my recommendations are sometimes relevant, but yeah, the trending page for stuff if you're not logged into your account is even worse. You do know that I don't do the streams instead of regular videos, right? So saying I do the streams instead of those videos is pointless because I'm not doing that at all. The streams are in addition to those videos. No, it was British football, like soccer, whatever you want to call it. But I still find, I'd actually, to be honest, I think American football is more interesting than British football, but I still think rugby is better than American football. But I still don't find a lot of those things very interesting. Right, I'm going to F5 the page again while I wait for some more questions, because I'm enjoying this in a masochistic kind of way. Some sort of fake documentary channel, and I don't mean like that in like a mockumentary way, I mean like just really shitty pseudoscience documentaries. Like they're the kind of videos I actually genuinely dislike because they mislead people. You know, people who like think vaccines cause autism, and what's the other one, like, is it homeotherapy or whatever they call it, where like, oh, if you've been poisoned by something, if a bit more of that's put into your body, it will cure you, a bit like the miasma theory. There's all those kind of pseudosciences that really need to be eradicated because of how dangerous they are when people believe them. Yeah, that's the thing, however it's pronounced, but you know what I mean. Quackery, basically, is the word for it. There is a shooting video coming out in the next month. I've done a couple like sparring type videos recently. But the main reason is just because where it's been like winter recently and wet weather and everything, I've just not had any interest in going out in the garden shooting. I'm not sure which one you mean off the top of my head, Texton. They're deactivated, but they are real and deactivated basically, so they're not like props, but they are props now. No, I don't hunt. I could like legally hunt vermin sort of stuff, but I have no need to do it because there's none actually around me that's a pest sort of thing. If somebody's posted not in English, I won't be able to read it, so I'm just saying that now. I've not banned whoever did that. I've just given them a timeout because otherwise, you know, it's spamming up the chat where I could be reading actual things. Right, I'll just F5 the page again while I wait for a load more things. I think this is what I'll do now on all the streams. I'll be looking at something, so when I'm rather than having an awkward silence, when I'm waiting for people to leave questions or whatever, I can have a look through stuff that I can read out to you. Videos about the troubles in Northern Ireland, but not in a documentary sense. So no, I'm not interested in that. Stuff about the new Star Wars films? No, I'm not interested in that. Videos analysing memes. Wow. That's like the lowest of the low interest for me in memes. Like, you know, a meme is just something that's meant to be simple and funny. I don't want like a documentary explaining how a certain meme came about. Out of the air guns I have, probably just actually the BSA Hornet, just because it's a cheap one that's practical, break barrel. One of my friends has a really, I think it might be an air arms one he's got, but he's got a really nice, you know, like PCP with the revolving sort of thing. There's bolt action. And if I had, you know, if I could choose any of the air guns, I'd definitely like one of the high-end Weihrauch ones. Weihrauch, however their name's pronounced. Like, you know, when they're really nice springers or sort of underlevers, but... Read the thing, Oscar. Is that the one that has, like, the little kind of stock thing on it? AAA. The one that's like, it's technically can be in the UK a 12 foot-pound air rifle because the stock on it is big enough, but it's kind of like a pistol, so it's like a weird carbine thing. They've made the stock just big enough that it goes into rifle territory, not pistol, because that's quite an interesting thing. Yeah, that's probably the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, it sounds quite interesting. Water filtration to an extent, although I don't have any serious water filtration stuff, but we do filter all the water in a house through a Brit jug, but that's mostly just to stop limescale build up in the coffee machine and the kettle, because I despise limescale. So like Brit jugs are handy for that. But no, I don't have any proper water filtration stuff. We've got a bit of bottled water in the house and that's about it. Yeah, I wouldn't know the actual names or the numbers of them without looking them up, Mike, but yeah, if you're on about like the Crossman Ratcatch or whatever it is, yeah, I do like that one, because it is the one I'm thinking of. Maybe watch some of my videos, Oscar. This will be your last warning for asking stupid questions. More stupid meme videos, but the worst thing is YouTube says they're from my subscriptions, and some of them are definitely not channels I'm subscribed to. Or if I have, it's because they've totally changed their content in the last few years. Well, yeah, a lot of them are in the videos that I do stuff with, because a lot of them want to take part in it. Most people think it's cool or unusual doing YouTube stuff. Right, it seems to me now, refreshing my YouTube front page, that for the time being, it's at least learnt a bit of a lesson. Like I said, for the time being. I'm sure that a bit later on, that is going to completely, you know, fall apart. No, I dropped my tactical pen. I wonder if I can do not interested. Yeah. Not interested. Not interested. Not interested. Not interested. Just because so many of the channels that I'm apparently subscribed to no longer make the content when I subscribed. I've watched the first series of that because it's on Shudder, but I've not watched any of the later series of it. I think in the first series, one of my favourite episodes is the one where the woman's husband gets stuck in the lift. That's quite good. I think that's the last episode, isn't it, the first series. There's also the one I liked with the guy making the bet with the Zippo, because it's got that guy in it, whose name I won't remember, but he played the Emperor in Dune. There's also the other funny one about the like guy who collects the modern art, and then he has one where the woman's head gets stuck in it. That's quite a good one, but I've not seen any of the later series after series 1, because I've only watched the series that's on Shudder. I don't know what you mean by Streamlabs. Well, with donations, people can do it through Patreon, or they can buy the merch. I'm not going to have like 20 different ways people can donate to me, to be honest, because then it's more of a hassle for me. And like I said, I do earn money from a job on the side and everything as well. And I'll go to America. I can't go to America this year regardless, so I might go next year, but I can raise the money for that myself when I eventually decide I'm going to go to America. Some good suggestions there, Krusty Panda, it's just I don't think any of them would be really practical for me. A French documentary, because, you know, I really speak French, don't I? That's a good suggestion for me, YouTube. Documentaries in languages I don't speak. Is that the Gherkin text on? I don't actually know. Call of Chernobyl, Raris. And my favourite stalker game is Call of Pripyat. Which model did you get? The one I got was sharp. Very sharp. But I got the Sohei one, whatever brand it was. But I know there's different brands on blades and bows, so it probably depends what brand you get. But I think all the ones made by that company are meant to come sharp. Right, while I'm waiting for questions, I'm going to refresh that thing again. If you haven't liked the stream already and you started watching the stream, please like it or dislike it if you really want to, just because clicking on the like or dislike buttons helps it get shared. Another channel I've never watched, that I'm not interested in judging by like their icons. Topic called guitars, because I don't watch guitar videos on YouTube other than like music videos now and again, but okay, thank you YouTube for that recommendation. What else is being recommended to me? Somebody who YouTube thinks I want to watch a half-hour video on somebody telling me why Fallout New Vegas is a bad game. Because yeah, I'm really going to watch that, aren't I? £30 at the most, 6 of spades. Which I think I mentioned earlier in the stream. As I've said quite a few times, Alexander, I've got a bag that I need to get set up for that. It's just I've never got round to doing it yet, but I don't think the likelihood of needing it is all that high, to be honest. I'm alright, thank you, More842. As I was saying to people earlier in the stream, I'm good today because there was a thing I needed to go to the doctors about, and I actually saw a doctor that took me seriously and sorted out a prescription thing that I needed, so, you know, that's good. It isn't the ugliest mask I've got, but I'd say some of the cheek filter masks I've got, just because they're pretty impractical due to being cheek filter masks. I think the worst cheek filter mask I've got is probably the Bulgarian one, just because it's made from the least comfortable rubber. So it's got all the problems cheek filter masks have, but you know, it's made from like stiff, uncomfortable rubber, on top of it being a cheek filter mask, which also means it's even harder to change the filters in it. Not a zombie head, because they cost loads of money. I've got a mannequin, but I wouldn't chop it up, because again, you're going to wreck a mannequin in like 1 or 2 chops. I'm not very good at building stuff, so otherwise I'd make a zombot like Weapon Collector's made, because that looks good, but I can't really make anything like that because I'm not skilled enough. What I have got, but I wouldn't chop it with swords or anything like that, and I ought to do a video on it at some point, is I have one of those spring punching bags in the garden. You know, where you punch it and it's like it comes back up under its own weight, and it's one of the full size ones. It's not like a little one, it's you know, one that you fill the base of like 40 kilos of sand or water or whatever. It's one of those. So at some point I might do some blunt weapons tests on that, things like bokkens and that, because they won't actually damage it, but they'd be good to see how much they knock it back and things like that. Yeah, exactly. If I was good at making stuff, Mike, I'd definitely build a zombot, but I'm not good at making stuff. You've missed 1 hour and 24 minutes of the stream, mate. I can't get the S10 out at the moment because it's in the cupboard, and I just can't be asked to get it out, if you want my simple answer. Yeah, but the problem is, like, that's a seasonal thing, isn't it? I think people want something that I can use all the time. Again, yeah, I chop up pumpkins around Halloween time, and there's other veg you could chop up, but it'd be nice to make something like what Weapon Collector's made with Zombot, if I was skilled enough to do it, which I'm not, where, you know, you can make something and then you can easily repair it if you want to do more videos, rather than buying something that lasts for one, you know, load of chopping and then it's completely wrecked. Yeah, I know, Zombie Go Boom makes a lot of them though, don't they? But yeah, I wouldn't be able to, like I'm saying, I wouldn't be able to afford anything like that, because those heads are stupidly expensive, and then if I wreck it in one video, I'm never going to get the money back I spent on it. I try and avoid people, 6 of spades, because I try and avoid people regardless, for the most part, to be completely honest with you. So, in a situation where people are trying to be killing you to get your supplies, I would be even less likely to want to meet people. Yeah, exactly, $500. That would only last a video or two, wouldn't it, if you were hitting it with a sword or like a mace or something? Yeah, exactly, one video. $500. I mean, I can understand why channels with like 100,000 plus subscribers might do it, because I'm sure they can calculate that they'd make the money back fairly quickly. But with YouTube as well, what if you get demonetized? You buy one of them, you make a single video of it, that video gets demonetized. Oops. Yeah, exactly. Moulding your own heads. I mean, you could probably do plaster of Paris, couldn't you, or something like a plaster of Paris skull. That might work. Something like that. I'm sure some people will be able to come up with a very good cheap way of doing it, but it depends what kind of food and drink they're wasting. For some tests, that is very invaluable, though, where they like with Paul Harrell's simulated lung tissue kind of thing, where he gets a load of oranges or whatever, and then puts like the ribs and everything in front of it. Although, yeah, you're technically wasting food. You might learn something in one of those videos that could save somebody's life. It's my FM12 I keep in my car, because it's got the satchel and everything set up, so I keep the FM12. And I think 2 spare filters? It's got at least 1 filter in there. It's basically under my passenger seat, so if ever I need it, I can get it very easily. You need to cut your hair short, Victor. That's the only way you're going to do it. Gas masks are not designed for people with long hair, they're designed for basically military buzz cuts. It will eventually, Damien, most likely, because of the fact it's got silicone all over it. Mine doesn't even work full stop. But there's a reason silicone isn't really used in masks, for the most part. Because although it's comfortable, it's not a very good material in terms of long lasting or, you know. Alright, I'm going to F5 again while I'm waiting for comments. I'll probably only be streaming another 5 or 10 minutes now, because I've probably gone to nearly 90 minutes, haven't I? Okay, so... political arguments, wow. I want to watch YouTubers argue about politics on a live stream, definitely. There's one video of a guy with an awful comb over. I'm not interested in the content of the video, but seriously, if you're balding like this guy was in this picture, you should just shave all your hair off. You definitely shouldn't try and salvage it with a comb over, which draws more attention to it. Well, what's actually happening now is the list of suggested videos on the YouTube recommended page is actually just getting smaller and smaller. So it's not having the effect where it's actually giving me better content, it's just giving me a lot less content. So, you know, I'd think, oh, wouldn't it be good if now all of Weapon Collector's videos or something show up in a bar there? No. I'm just going to have a page on YouTube soon where there's absolutely nothing recommended to me. Because they only recommend me stuff I don't want to watch. In theory, there will be masks, Techstorm, which have a silicone inner mask but an outer mask made of other stuff, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. Yeah, exactly. I definitely agree with that, Mike. It's just, if I started balding, luckily I think I'm probably not going to bald, just because of the fact that my dad and everybody, you know, in my family seems to never lose their hair. But yeah, if I did start balding, I would just completely shave it, you know, every week or whatever, to the point where you're like permanently bald, because at least then it's uniform. If I had, you know, like the hair there but no hair on the top or whatever in the thing, or you know, whatever, all that bit receded so far back that, you know, I just shave off all my hair in an instant and wouldn't think about it. And then if I knew my hair was definitely not growing back, I'd see if there was some sort of thing I could have my scalp treated with, so I wouldn't have to even just keep shaving it. SLR and a Lee Enfielder in the back. Right, the stream's gone on for an hour and a half, so if anybody's got any quick questions at the end, I'll quickly answer them, but otherwise I'll be finishing the stream up. Because Weapon Collector, I imagine, will be streaming at 9 PM, so I'll be watching his stream when he starts. Butyl is the best rubber for a gas mask to be made out of all the rubbers I know of. I mean, I think there's technically, like, composite ones where they use, like, butyl mixed with whatever, and they're probably the best, but out of all of them, butyl is the one that seems to be the most resilient to chemicals and, you know, is still comfortable enough and whatever else. No idea what that is, Rarus. Yeah, I'll definitely be watching you then at 9 PM, Mike. That's an hour and a half's time, isn't it? Yeah. Blowpipes are banned for some reason in the UK. I don't know about tribal weapons, but for some reason blowpipes and lots of martial arts things are randomly banned. For some reason we have a law that bans cheap katanas, but only cheap katanas, not like cheap other swords. A lot of our laws are mishmash, but other than the fact you can't really walk around waving a sword around in the street, we don't really have many laws on swords because weirdly nobody gets stabbed with swords anymore. Probably the FM12 or CT12 for butyl masks, but most modern masks are butyl or butyl composite because it's kind of, you know, the material everybody's realised is good for masks. Right, thank you for watching the stream, everybody. Don't forget that if you are interested in a mug like this one, look below because there is a Teespring link, and in that Teespring link you can get, you know, themed merchandise, and if you buy that, I get a little bit of money from it. So, yeah, there's that. But yeah, but why apply that law only to cheap katanas? Why wouldn't you apply that law to everything? Like, no cheap swords, no cheap machetes, whatever else. But no, that's the way the law was written. And the good thing, at least with this law, is it means that all of the katanas you can buy now have to be of a minimum quality. But yeah, it doesn't apply to kitchen knives or anything either. So again, it's one of those laws that didn't fix anything. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll be on Weapon Collector's stream later if any of you are watching that. But anyway, have a good evening. I will do a stream tomorrow because tomorrow, I've got tomorrow booked off of work as holiday because I had to use my holiday days up. I'm working Sunday, but I'm not working Saturday. So as I'll be around tomorrow, at some point tomorrow I might do a stream, so you'll just have to see if you catch it if I'm on, because I can't say at the moment what time the stream would be. But yeah, see everybody, thanks for watching.